Aloha, this is Brother Raphael from beautiful Hawaii, and I trust you have read Genesis chapter 24. Let's get a little background on wedding issues, wedding customs of ancient Mesopotamia. We have seen some letters, some documents from some of the kings of Canaan interacting with Pharaoh. Around that time, Pharaoh ruled over all of Canaan. And some of the kings will be asking Pharaoh, how is my sister? How is my daughter whom I sent to you as a wife? And they sent them to Pharaoh as a wife in order to create and foment and cement relationships between them. At the same token, there were some other letters where they will be fairly upset, asking Pharaoh, why haven't you sent me one of your daughters as a wife? And in one letter, the Pharaoh appears to have replied back. And he has said something to the effect of, I don't give my daughters to Canaanites. Because this king replied back, we don't have the letter from the Pharaoh, but we have the response. And the king replied back, who is going to question you as to who you give your daughters to? You are Pharaoh. If somebody says something, you can certainly deal with it. Now, what about sending me a wife from one of your daughters? I'm still waiting. In the past, in that era, if you had money, if you have a business, you could use your sons and daughters to create better relations with people, suppliers, or whoever was interacting with your business. As an example, if you were a farmer and you know somebody who has a mill, a wheat mill, then you will try to get some negotiations on getting your kids married. That way, the family will become closer together and the business will be solidified, will be guaranteed, and so forth. If you didn't have money, of course, then that's a little bit different. But in all cases, even though it might have been done for X, Y, or Z reasons, the parents sought the best for their children. And they demand a certain amount of dowry, they demand a certain amount of bride gifts, and so forth. In this case over here, what we are seeing is that Abraham sends Eliezer to get a wife for Isaac. Now, the background is interesting. However, what we can see from this is that he sends the person who will be most likely to know Isaac very well, to know what type of wife will fit in the clan, to know what type of bride will be best for the young man. You would think, well, maybe they could send the mom of Isaac. She will know, but sadly Sarah had passed away by this time. So the best person to guarantee a good fit with Isaac was Eliezer. He was the one who knew the son since he was born. He knows the boy left and right. Now, what can we teach children about this? This is a great story, especially in this day and age, because children now don't have this desire, this wanting to seek their parents' advice into who they marry. And I am not talking about we parents arranging marriages, but who knows best? Our children, us parents. Who knows them since they were little? What is their demeanor? What is their interest? What is it that they want? What is their temperament? We know them since they were little. We know human nature. We have experienced marriage. We have experienced the joys and difficulties that come through marriage, the challenges. We have the experience in other people's marriages when something goes wrong, or even in our marriages. And we can best prepare our children for who is best for them. I have to be really careful. I am not saying we should arrange marriages, but if our children are not trained to seek our advice in terms of who they are going to marry, they are going to suffer, most likely, because they will seek something which is not important in the long term in that partner. They might seek appearance, and we know appearance is very important, but appearance does change. They might seek somebody who has a fancy car, somebody who is social media star or whatever. We know what are the important matters that we should advise our children. So parents, first, in this story, when you share it with your children, let them know that Eliezer, when he talked to God, he did not say, send me the prettiest. When I see the prettiest, I'm going to choose her to be Isaac's bride. He did not say that. He said, the one who offers water for me and my camel. And you know how much water a camel can drink. So he wanted to pick a woman that was willing to go the extra mile. He wanted to pick somebody who was willing to do the work. Somebody who was kind. Somebody who was concerned about the well-being, complete well-being of a stranger. Remember, he picked the person who went the extra mile. We as parents can teach our children, when you are ready to date somebody, we would like to meet them. We would like to meet the family. We would like to give you all those decades of experience in marriage, in what our family has gone through the past, in what our family has experienced. We want to share with you what will work and what will not work. And I will promise my kids that although I will not interfere, I will give them, because I love them, my unvarnished advice. If I know this person comes from a situation that is very destructive and they haven't sought help or counseling, I will tell that to my children. If I know this person is bound to be very destructive in marriage, I will tell that to my children, because I love them. So parents, we need in this story to make sure that children know that the absolute best person to help them decide if the marriage is going to be successful, most likely, is us parents. Here is one thing, and I'm going to finish with this. Here is one thing children are going to tell you. Children are going to tell you, but Dad, you don't know me. But Mom, you don't know me. They can be further from the truth. They think that for whatever reason you happen to just wake up one day in your house and you don't know them. It's just the way we teenagers are. But here is what we'll tell them. Here is what I'm going to tell my children. First, you have to realize that I want to make sure that you marry a real Christian. Second, and that is a non-negotiable, you have to marry a real Christian. Second, I do know you more than you know yourself. Because I know you, son, or I know you, daughter, when you were trying to fool me. I know you since you were born. I know you, my son and my daughter, better than you know yourself. you can expect some pushback on that. But parents, it's true. And the final thing is, I know you and the generations before you better than you'll ever know yourself. So I can use that knowledge I have of you, the generations before us, and human nature, and seek what is best for you. Teach them since they are young that your advice is very important in the second most important decision of their life, their marriage. In Christ's love, this is Brother Raphael. May the Lord bless you. Thank you.